Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam. Yesterday, as willed by Papa, we had the Mauna session. Many of you might have been reading when you open the book, Glimpses of Divine Vision. The first chapter itself says, try to know who really you are. That is the real question. So for that, Papa suggested there should be a systematized thought and discipline. And go beyond the notion set by the body, mind, intellect. So that was the theme that prompted us. Nearly about 60 people attended the program, morning 7:15 to evening 5 o'clock. This is the third one. devotees and sadhakas are requested to bear in mind that whatever may be our outer discipline, we have to go to solitude or a sort of inward journey as often as possible. Because the first tangible gain is that we are in a position to sit for 8 to 10 hours, without any activity. First job. And second thing is not to talk. After a few, 4 or 5 sittings, if we are in a position, people are enjoying it, otherwise they would have got up and gone. It is not that we are sitting whole 10 hours. Every now and then there will be a walking meditation by which the body gets some exercise, and then come back and sit. We are watching. Yesterday we also had a half an hour seva session. With gents we were there, we could understand that none of them talked, but busily engaged in whatever seva they could do. Walking meditation gives this rest, and then 45-minute session. There were 5 sessions. And half an hour for writing Ramnam. We thought it might help them. The question is to know who you are in reality, the real question. This is the word of Papa. So when we try to dwell upon it, we need some clues. So yesterday the clue suggested was, all our sense organs, the 5 sense organs. The functioning of the sense organs, suppose we try to contemplate, it might give us something. For example, that power because of which the eyes see, but at the same time with the eyes, that power cannot be seen. That is my real nature, according to Shastras, When Papa says your original nature, that is the real quest. So what is the real nature? There are so many dimensions. Yesterday this was taken up. Whether everybody was able to, many have given their feedback. This is the first attempt, so we need not feel that we are in a position to understand it. That because of which the ears hear, but at the same time it cannot be heard through the ear. That because of which the tongue tastes, but with the same tongue we cannot taste that. Like that all Panchendriyas, Panchendriyas are activated by that power, but the Panchendriyas cannot by themselves know it. So what is that? This is a food for thought. At least it will be there at the intellectual level. So like that we slowly try to enter, and every time we feel it is helping us to some extent, though not to the full extent. More than half they have given their feedback, so something very, very educating. Many suggestions are there. So those who are not in a position, those who are planning to visit, we would request them to plan in such a way that they are here for the Movinar session. Because at home, however much we try, probably we may not be able to. Here, if we get a taste of it, we might be able to stretch it at our own home. Tentatively, it has been planned to have it on the second Sunday of every month, but next month it will be on the 15th of December. Otherwise, normally by and large, we will try to do it on second Sunday. So that second Saturday leave is there, you can come, and Sunday evening if they want to get back, okay. So 15th September, kindly think about it. Sorry, 15th December. This is an occasion for all of us to.
Swamiji, it was planned on 8th of December, no?
No, it is 15th now.
Okay.
So though it is not on the second Sunday, somebody wanted that to be changed. Okay, so this month, December month, we will change it to 15th. And those who are planning to come on 15th, they can also join for the year-end program. This year's year-end program, the speciality is we are getting one Swami Chidananji, who was previously in Chimya Mission 20 years back. He will be with us for the 5 days. It starts on 27, 28, 29, 30, 31st, 5 days. And every day he will share some thoughts. Another person who is, we don't know, but we have been told that he is well conversant with the Sampradaya Bhajan. So he will also share some thoughts and bhajans will be there. Every day it will be there. One Swami from South Africa, he will render special bhajan every day. Like that, so many programs are being started from 27th to 31st. We are also trying to have Bhajan Sandhya program. Tentatively, we have fixed it. So those who are in a position to come on 15th and those who are not working or retired people can stretch their period, but we want them to inform us well in advance. Anyway, coming back. So these are all the things. Mauna session again. Then tomorrow happens to be Pujya Swamiji's 105th Jayanti day. As you shall know, we don't have any celebrations, excepting that we intensely try to remember him and pray to him who is now in the form of remembrance in our heart to give us the necessary boost, push. However much we try, we are unable to live up to what has been shared by him. But still, as Swamiji is an embodiment of love, he will definitely accommodate our request. So what is necessary is to intensely, not merely thinking, going through the teachings. The moment we think about Pujya Swamiji, we remember during his 80th birthday celebration. This is what he shared with us. It seems to be appropriate today to evaluate what the 8 years of this body has taught me and how the lessons have been made use of. The first message he gives, evaluate. The passing away of a closest relation when I was only 6 or 7 taught me that everything in the world was transitory. His own mother only. Though not a drop of tear was shed, the shock that I had helped me to get over all further shocks. As a student, I learned that I should give full attention, 100% attention to the studies at that time and later to whatever type of work I had to do, forgetting everything else during that time. This brought success in life. Watching different characters and the sufferings they had on account of their attachment to their own relations and friends, their likes and dislikes, touched me deeply and made me feel that I should not be involved in the life of like theirs. Like theirs means, what is that?
Full of cares and worries.
Huh?
Full of cares and worries.
Attachment, Sufferings caused by the attachment to their own relations and friends. I understood the hollowness of life, however brilliant it appeared from outside, like high position, possession of property, name, fame, etc. As I saw that though all those persons who had everything, they were still searching for peace and happiness. Many of us belong to that category, so we don't have to go anywhere else. Beloved Papa soon made it clear to me that life is God and life dedicated to God is the true life. And such a life alone can give real happiness. It was after that he brought about the external circumstances in such a way as to synchronize with the inner prompting he had given me to seek him only. Him, capital. He brought me to the ashram to be at his holy feet. From then on, it was a new life and a real life. New life and a real life. I could experience every moment what real love was as compared to the worldly love experienced so far. I felt that such a life alone was worth living, though there were minor struggles in adjusting to the new life because of the downward pull of the lower nature. While leaving the old contacts for good, I was told, refuge in ashrams for a spiritual advancement is necessary only for those who have no backbone. Refuge in ashrams for spiritual advancement is necessary only for those who have no backbone. I admitted my backbone was too weak to withstand the pressure of worldly life and therefore needed protection. But by coming here and engaging myself in the seva of beloved Papa, I found that a much stronger backbone was necessary to successfully perform universal service than what was required to perform the ordinary worldly responsibilities. So I preferred a life of meditation in solitude. But experiences and strong will of Puja Mataji made me accept that Guru Seva perfectly done could take one to the cherished goal, and the way to get perfection in Seva was Seva itself, supported by Nama and Dhyana. Here Virat Papa made me understand what a sage is and how different he is from the ordinary. I was happy that I was on the right path and was being guided to the right goal. In Virat Papa, I found my savior, and in beloved Mataji, my real mother. He taught me that living in the ashram was alone. This is very important for all of us. Rest of the things are his personal. Next one, all of us are in ashram, no? Many of us are in ashram. He taught me that living in the ashram was alone not sufficient for spiritual progress. And that unless it was backed up by intense sadhana, never losing sight of the goal, chances of stagnation would be there. We all know from our own experience, how many years we have been living here. One living in the ashram should never be satisfied with the relative peace that he gets here because of the absence of other usual worries and anxieties. One should not rest content until he is able to attain the peace and bliss of the eternal. He also taught me that we should aim at the realization of the impersonal aspect of God, followed by the universal vision, and not to be content with the darshan of God in any particular form, as the former alone is permanent and therefore the highest experience.
சுவாமிஜி இன்னொரு தடவை சொல்லுங்களேன். இம்பர்சனல் விஷன் இல்லையா? அப்படி சொல்றாரு.
இம்பர்சனல் விஷன்
இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் அது.
அப்படின்னாக்கா நமக்கு
அதாவது
நிர்குணா சொல்றேன் அதானே.
அதான் நம்மளாம் என்ன பண்ணோம்னா பப்பா மாதாஜியோட ஃபோட்டோவை பார்த்தப்போ அதில் ஸ்டாக்னேட் ஆகிட்டோம். அப்புறம் சாமிஜியோட ஃபோட்டோ பார்த்து ஸ்டாக்னேட் ஆகிட்டோம். இம்பர்சனலுக்கு நமக்கு ஐடியாவே வரல. அதில் வண்டி நின்று போச்சு. ஆனால் அவருக்கு அது புரிஞ்சு போச்சு. ஒரு வாட்டி படிக்கிறோம், அப்புறம் ஒன்றும் தெரியும். Another danger to overcome is attachment to personalities in the name of love. Love must be impersonal. In the ashram, Papa taught me, that the more we truly love others, the more our heart expands and the supply from within becomes unlimited. Our love should be without expecting anything in return, not even love or gratitude. Here he taught me the joy of giving and how the more we give, the more God provides. Our revered Mataji used to say, if you are too calculating while giving to someone, don't forget that God will also be equally or more calculating in giving you. I also learned that when some deserving person asks for something and if he is refused, we are not only wasting a good opportunity, but also not saving that amount as it will soon be spent in some other way. Only the regret of not having given him will be remain. If you decide to give, you should give now itself when the other person needs it. Don't ask him to wait till you are able to give. We remember Puja Swami used to share with us how Mataji taught him all these. So naturally, even today, we will think in terms of our commitment to others through ashram. That will be there first. So on those days, the money flow was also limited. So checks when they come, Mataji will not look at it. Mataji want hot cash. When cash comes, it goes to Mataji. Swamiji will put the check in the bank and will not reveal the balance to Mataji because so many creditors are there, bills are kept. Every now and then Mataji will ask what is the bank balance. So Swamiji will, on those days, you have to take the passbook, send it to bank, get it updated, and passbook and the list of creditors. So what is the balance? So first Swamiji will talk about the creditors list. So Mataji will say, this is Rajasic. I want you to tell me the balance of not the balance due to others. They can wait. They have been reminding Mataji, you give the telephone to me, I will tell them. So this is how Mataji, which nobody can understand. He says, in the ordinary level, nobody can understand this. All of us, even today, if something we have to pay somebody, that will be in our uppermost mind. But in Mataji's case, somebody who comes here with some urgent need, that is uppermost in mind. Our revered Mataji used to say, if you are too calculating while giving to someone, don't forget that God will also be equally or more calculating in giving you. I also learned that when some deserving person asks for something, and if he is refused, we are not only wasting a good opportunity, but also not saving that amount as it will soon be spent in some other way. Only the regret of not having given will remain. If you decide to give, you should give now itself, when the other person needs it. Don't ask him to wait till you are able to give. He taught me that our worldly attainments are like tin cells, and that life lived to attain God and get established in God alone is worth living. Though I claimed that I was doing everything, finally he taught me that it was he alone who was taking care of me from the beginning, making me pass through varied experiences and making me do many things, good or bad, according to our calculation, only to work out his will through this body in his universal game. He alone is, there is nothing but he. Those 2-3 things. First is, we should make use of such occasions to evaluate. Evaluate, not bring the person to him, but evaluate so that how God has been grateful. In guiding him from the lesser ideal to an evolved ideal. Then how he directed us to associate with noble people. And then when we were brought, we should know that simply by staying in the ashram or involving in certain activities, no, that will not help us in our march towards the goal. So here he makes it very clear. Living in the ashram was alone not sufficient to spiritual progress, that unless it was backed up by intense sadhana, never losing sight of the goal. chances of stagnation would be there. One living in the ashram should never be satisfied with the relative peace he gets here because of the absence of other usual worries and anxieties. One should not rest content until he is able to attain the peace and bliss of the eternal. He also taught me that we should aim at the realization of the impersonal aspect of God, followed by the universal vision, and not to be content with the darshan of God in any particular form. As the former alone, former means impersonal alone, is permanent and therefore the highest experiences. So when we remember him tomorrow, being the 105th Jayanti, these should come back. We are trying to evaluate our own progress, identify the areas where we have to improve. Is the process of expansion taking place in us? Is the pull of this me and mine getting reduced? And my reflection, contemplation, to have the glimpse of his presence. Is it steadily moving? The rest of the things, we will leave it because it again makes us to view it from the individual standpoint. We have all understood that God is behind everything right from our seed stage up to this moment. So whether we are moving towards becoming aware of that, Are we making use of Nama chanting towards that? Are we making use of the seva activities in which we feel we are engaged, helping that? But this is important. Trying to reflect, contemplate, meditate, to feel his presence, at least a fleeting glimpse. And tomorrow being Puja Swamiji's 105th Jayanti day, we also try to understand how he looks at this universal reality. He names it as consciousness absolute. What is this consciousness? All of us know in English we are conscious of talking, conscious of handling, conscious of doing. But here it is consciousness as absolute. So God is consciousness absolute. Chit. Sat Chit Anand. So this is very important for us because unless and until we get a taste of, we try to have that taste of that reality, we might lose, we may fail. But I must have at least one fleeting experience of his presence. Then only the shift will start taking place. Otherwise, we may be feeling, we are active. We are doing seva, something like that. We are doing Ramnam. We are involved in bhajan. We can sing. We can do this, do that. All those things will come to us. But that is not the end. Swamiji gently reminds us that is not the purpose for which we have been drawn here. That somebody also can do it, no. But this one we have been given. We are all the chosen one, the the special one, the blessed ones, to be in an ashram like Ananda Ashram, and where we should be reminded of the goal, never losing sight of the goal, unless it was backed up by intense sadhana, never losing sight of the goal. One should not rest content until he is able to attain the peace and bliss of the eternal. He also taught me that we should aim at the realization of the impersonal aspect of God, followed by the universal vision. These three things. We should not lose sight of the goal. What is that goal? Peace and bliss of the eternal. And also the realization of the impersonal. Then only impersonal aspect will make us to feel His presence everywhere. For the past few days, we were going through Papa's words to Mataji as expressed by Mataji. While giving Ram Nam, Papa said you should meditate on the impersonal aspect. Elaborately Mataji has explained, because it is Mataji who introduced the word Papa, Many of us got confused because of that, because for the personal as well as the impersonal, personal we address as Papa. And when Mataji started addressing for the impersonal, we did not understand. We did not understand the impersonal Papa and the personal Papa. So naturally, we couldn't progress because beyond that we will not think, beyond that form. So as we have shared many a time during our satsang, when we bluntly asked Puja Swamiji how he was able to get over, especially when he was serving Papa in a close quarter for 14 years, not 1 or 2. Such a highly evolved soul like Papa, a realized saint like Papa. Then Swamiji said, I also thought I was developing an attachment to his form. So I clarified. And then every day Swamiji was prostrating, so that he was hammering. I am prostrating before the indwelling and all-pervading reality whose presence has been made known to me through this form. So the form is respected, but at the same time through the form getting connected to the impersonal aspect. So that is why he was able to repeat this, He was trying to make us aware of this. He also taught me that we should aim at the realization of the impersonal aspect of God, followed by the universal vision, and not to be content with the darshan of God in any particular form, as the form alone is, as the former, that is, the impersonal aspect alone is permanent, and therefore the highest experience. On this day we have to keep on. And he was talking about consciousness, that's it. We may not, nobody will be able to explain what is consciousness, absolute. But to go near that, we have to start somewhere our inward journey, Probably this might help. Knowing principle. Every moment we are aware, now we are sitting, we know that we are sitting. We know that we are talking. We know that we are hearing. Just think about it. We know that we are. That knowing principle, what is that? It is with me throughout. Though it might not be the correct answer, it will lead us to start with, suppose we have this in our mind, knowing principle, because about which probably all of us have some idea. At the moment, how do I, every day in ashram, when we repeat the prayer of Swami Omkarji Maharaj, he says, interpenetrating that adorable presence in us, Mahaniya Sannidhyam, who is interpenetrating the very cells of our being, who is the eye of our eyes. That means that with which the eye see, that with which the ear hears, that with which the heart beats, that with which the mind thinks, that because of which the life expresses itself as life. Like that, and then he will add, bless me so that I bless us, dear God, to be aware of thy presence now and here. We have been telling this, but we are not making an effort, now and here. So what is that? So which is with us throughout, now and here? Which is with us? If we think, while Ram Nam chanting, that means when we are not chanting, he is there or he is not there. Suppose we say we find joy in doing bhajans. That means when we don't sing bhajans, he is not there. Like that we are asking ourselves. Now and here means we should know the heart beats, at all times. So long as we qualify ourselves as an individual, that nature, permanent nature. So like that, knowing principle. We will request all of you to kindly think about it. It might help. Because Puja Swamiji was practicing it, and finally he wrote in 2003 that he was, what is that exact word? Consciousness, he said, No, don't wait, sit down. My practice in those days was that when I saw anybody, I should see the consciousness in him, capital C, pervading every atom of his body. And I took it that the body was active only because of consciousness, which is real and not the body. That means from when I touch here, I know that I am touching, to the tip of the toe. What is it that make me feel, I'm conscious of it. This is the clue Puja Swamiji gives us. My practice in those days was that when I saw anybody, I should see the consciousness in him, pervading every atom of his body, and I took that the body was active only because of the consciousness, which is real and not the body. So that is why we say, the consciousness or awareness intertwined with the body becomes the expressive form of God. Because there should be a platform where this consciousness can express. So the heart beats the blood circulates, the digestion takes place, the breathing goes on. These are the four activities which keep the body alive. If these are not functioning, the body is dead. Along with it, this consciousness. And consciousness is without form. Because it is without form, it is always there. Body, it is palpable. It has got a form, so it will die away. But a happy marriage between, this body and the consciousness gives us the platform to realize His presence. I was charmed by saying Naneshwar. Then he said, this consciousness is also called the unifying spirit, universal spirit, that connects up all the forms in Prakriti into one unit. Like the thread that connects up all the beads in a rosary and makes it a single unit. Because of the presence of the consciousness, we can reach out anywhere now. Think. It is not confined only to this body. We are attributing it to thought. But thought, if the thought is there, I am aware of the thought, that conscious of thought. So it is the consciousness, that is why he said, this consciousness is also called the unifying spirit that connects up all the forms in Prakriti into one unit, like the thread that connects up all the beads in a rosary and makes it a single unit. I was charmed by saying Jnaneshwar Maharaj's statement that Purusha is the gold thread connecting all the gold beads, which are innumerable forms of Prakriti. Thus he says that Purusha and Prakriti are not different. This practice gave great joy, yet I lacked the feeling I was completely free or liberated. There was something more to be experienced. I often used to repeat, "Oh Lord, you are everything. All the emotions, all the thoughts, all the feelings are you only. As there is nothing but you, you are also beyond everything." Whenever the thought of a person came to my mind, I took him not to be an individual, but a part of the universe, which is the manifestation of God. From early morning, whatever I saw, whatever I touched, I used to say, "This is also your form." Thus, everything was identified with God. This made me speak less, as the mind was busy engaged in identifying everything and everybody with God and trying to be conscious of the Purusha pervading the entire body of that person or objects. So I was cool and calm, enjoying the communion with God in each and every form I saw. I was mistaken to be unwell, and I have to say again and again I was all right. My effort was to maintain this in all conditions, but as soon as I started talking, the mental condition changed and the thought of God got diluted. I was back to body consciousness. I was trying to maintain this consciousness even when talking at all times. Success was not much. I failed often, but failure did not deter me. So the struggle is to get established in the consciousness. So when I look at a person, I see him or her as pure consciousness, and the body a tiny speck floating in the consciousness. So all the matter in the universe of innumerable forms is only many tiny spots floating in pure consciousness. When someone speaks, I know the sound comes from consciousness. Tomorrow is the 105th Jayanti.
Swami, one doubt solved here. Well, consciousness, it can be witnessed or experienced only. How can we talk to the consciousness of a person if we happen to be seeing consciousness?
How can we talk about consciousness? We can only experience consciousness. That is what he said.
Witness.
Witness. Witness.
I'm unable to understand your question.
So when I see the consciousness of another person, we can only witness or experience the consciousness of the other person. Yeah. How can we talk to them and
How can we talk to them?
Again, I am not very clear. Please try. I will try. No, I will read it again. I read it again, and let us try to understand the question itself. When I look at a person, I see him or her as pure consciousness, and the body a tiny speck floating in the consciousness. So all the matter in the universe of innumerable forms is only tiny spots floating in pure consciousness. When someone speaks, I know the sound comes from consciousness only. Though the body walks, etc., the power is of pure consciousness only. But consciousness is not affected by so-called action. But consciousness is not, but so it can be said that such actions are taking place through the vehicles, and the powers for such actions is drawn from pure consciousness only. So there is no ego anywhere. You know that you are now talking, you are hearing. That knowing principle, when we delve deep into it, we might get some clarity on the question you have put. There are two types of consciousness. One is I am conscious of doing this, taking these specs. I am conscious of doing it, consciously doing it, mindfully doing it.
Yes, understood.
That is one consciousness. Another consciousness is the knowing principle, which has been with me, which cannot be explained further. For both, in English we got this consciousness, but how do we differentiate? This consciousness will have capital C. The other consciousness will have small c. This consciousness, capital C, is the knowing principle in us, which is with us, which has been with us. Swamiji is talking about that. And the moment he says, when he starts talking, he comes down to the body consciousness. That means what? The knowing principle level and the body consciousness are two stages. Knowing principle, very difficult to define anything. Can you define that? Anybody can define? Try. The knowing principle that you are sitting, the knowing principle that makes you to feel you are sitting, you are hearing, you are. No? Can it be explained further? No.
Only that individual will know, Swamiji.
That it cannot be explained.
Yes, Swamiji.
The other consciousness we can explain. Anything that we do.
Swamiji,
So Puja
the knowing principle is known. The knowing principle is known to me. The knowing principle in Shruti Ma is known to Shruti, or it is like that. In everybody there is a knowing principle. Then it becomes a universal thing, no, Swamiji. The knowing principle or the consciousness becomes a universal factor.
You just let us not bring it under the ambit of intellect. What is this knowing principle? Can it be explained? Knowing principle, knowing of Allah. Knowing of is different. Knowing of the specs, knowing of an object, that is right. But knowing principle, the principle that makes us aware of.
That is you.
So Puja Swamiji is directing our attention to that, which is with us, which has been with us. It is impersonal. There is no me and mine there. Beyond that, it cannot be explained. So that was the method he adopted. And he shares with us. And he says where he fails. when there is no interaction. So during our Mauna session, probably as we come across sixth or seventh or eighth session, many will be able to move in this direction, because there the object, to know an object, knowing process on an object, that will not be there, because no object, no, we are sitting there. When we close our eyes, what has been known and seen, that only will be there, no more further knowing. So then there is a chance that we might be able to, we might be blessed with an opportunity to go inside and have a glimpse of this. So this is purely an internal process. So to understand that, probably the easy word would be the capital consciousness. See, can be conveyed through knowing principle. We know, at the moment we know that we are talking. What is that knowing principle? We will not be able to explain. Because it is because of the knowing principle, even the utterance of knowing, the word knowing principle is coming out. It is like, that which makes the eyes to see, but with the eyes we cannot. So when we are thinking about Puja Swamiji's sadhana, or the pattern he used, that means it is not anything that easy. He uses the word. This was written by him in 2003, before he felt sick. So to struggle is to get the established in the consciousness, in that consciousness. So when I look at a person, I see him or her as pure consciousness in the body. I see him as pure consciousness, and the body a tiny speck floating in that consciousness. Let not our intellect start analyzing these words. Instead, we will take to inward journey to understand. If I see him or her as pure consciousness, and the body a tiny speck floating in their consciousness. Our body and other bodies, we close our eyes. In such a short time, everything comes, Please think about, please go inward and make experiments to understand Puja Swamiji's words. When someone speaks, I know the sound comes from consciousness only. But consciousness is not affected by so-called action. Yesterday evening, more of it tomorrow we'll try. Tomorrow afternoon 3:30 to 4:30, because of Puja Swamiji's, we will have the Satsang. Day after tomorrow we will have the break.
We can have Satsang on Wednesday also.
No.
We can have Satsang on Wednesday also.
Let us see. Tomorrow we'll see. So the thing is, we want to keep it aflame, not in a superficial plane. Because through Swamiji, when we pay our homage to him, this is what he gave us, We immediately say he was loving, he did that, he did this, and then what happened to us in our spiritual journey? Nothing. That was our attachment towards him. That was physical body. But this is something precious. He gives us the clue by which he scaled the heights. We also want to scale the heights. And this is the clue he has given. So we will try to dwell upon it more on tomorrow's satsang. In the meantime, suddenly it struck to us, we happen to go through one, but because of this consciousness awareness, it is too tough. Agreed. We were remembering always Ramana Maharshi used to say in Tamil, what do you say? Chummairi. Huh? Chummairi, what does it mean? Simply sitting. That is not what he meant. I will read out some portion from it is complete rest. Just as we lie down and get into a comfortable posture in order to sleep, to take rest, we simply sit. This rest will convey something. Perhaps it may offer a way to face life with a balance. Or perhaps it may open us out from within, thereby accepting life in a larger sense. It may guide us through deluded conditionings and overrated ambitions in life. It may lead us to wisdom that life's goal is life itself. Life's goal is life itself. We may experience that simply to just sit is the goal of sitting. To just be able to sit and watch. No need to hold on to anything. No need to fight with anything. No need to transcend anything. No need to analyze anything. To just be able to sit and watch observantly our physical, our emotional, intellectual journey with awareness. Like watching a movie, like reading a novel, like simply sitting beside a stream, seeing the current flow. One thing we need to pay attention to is not to look, but rather to see. Looking is with effort, seeing is rest. Our life is a continuous action of the physical, emotional, intellectual realm. With great effort, we flow along parallel with the natural rhythm of life. For few days, we let go and leave things as it is. Let life do its work. That means the thoughts, words, emotions, let it work. You stand apart. That is called Chumairi. Not to identify. Once again, we will read. We are trying to understand Swamiji's words of consciousness,
Swamiji, I had a question. Here, Swamiji says that when he hears anyone speak, then he knows that the sound comes from consciousness. So the sound means the part of speaking, I suppose. But what about the content of what is said? Is that also from the divine, or is that the person?
Where else? Consciousness only.
So suppose a person says something negative to me. So the part of the speech comes to the divine, but what about the content of his words?
When you know that it is coming from the consciousness, it changes its face. There must be a purpose behind him talking like that. I take it.
Positive or negative?
Okay, the positive and negative is a label given by us from the individual standpoint. When we know that it is coming from the consciousness absolute, it must have a purpose.
My question, Swamiji, suppose Shraddha says something hurtful to me. Now I'll say, okay, the power of speech has been given to her by the divine. So this comes from the consciousness. But is the content of her words
Content also
from the divine?
Yes, not from any other. There is no other than him,
Of course he wouldn't do that.
At this level, it's difficult for us to understand. But that is the truth. Whether we are unable to understand it or not, that is the truth. So even
there's no free will. She's not exercising free
no.
will.
That is why in Inquest of God, when two boys were commenting about Papa, adverse comments, he did not take it, he didn't get offended at all.
Because he is seeing.
Because he was seeing it is coming from the same. And he also said, yes, he is also a bogus, a fraud. You are right. That changed, the moment he brought in God's dimension, God dimension, and then it got transformed itself. Not that it should transform every time in the way in which Papa has explained. Later on he will say don't try to destroy the thought but transform the thought.
What ordinarily happens is someone says something negative to us, we attribute that to that person, not to the divine speaking through that person.
Correct. Naturally, yes. We will find divinity only in Rama, not in Ravana.
But actually,
But the truth is, Rama and Ravana have come from him. Vinoba used to say these words. When we read this, for the first time, this question came. Then suddenly the call came, wait. You say negative, positive, no? Okay. You are eating laddu. Nice, very nice, excellent, very tasty. But after some time it goes out in the form of stools. Do you say it is tasty? No other, it has not come from any other source. The same thing, if you are in a position to put a label, this is good and this is bad, so it is relative. It has transformed itself into some other shape. And because right from our childhood we have taught our mind that this is, stool means nothing. Whereas we have seen, we have heard mentally deranged person. We happened to go to Chennai. At that time, we met one great person. What is his name?
Krishnan. Krishnan, I think. Krishnan, his name.
Krishnan. She's so.
No. He is Abdurrahman Allah. Muhammad Rafi. Muhammad Rafi, one day when he was a local some vendor, some trader. So when he is from Kannur, he is having this business in Chennai. When he landed in Central Station, he saw a person sitting under the corner of the platform, eating his own stool. Suddenly it struck him, he is also a human being like me. That means he is not aware. So he thought, what can be done now? He is a small, petty dealer. So he telephoned to the hospital. There's a patient here eating. They said, we can't do anything. GH is opposite to Central Station. Nobody came forward. He contacted 3-4 institutions. Nobody came forward. Finally, his mind did not permit him to go. He took an auto, somehow dragged this man, put him in the auto, took him to his house. And then for 2-3 days he gave a wash with jet, He has not taken any bath for years together. And whatever he talks, nobody can understand that. Neither Tamil nor English nor something like that. And then after 2 or 3, his wife said, well, okay, wife also joined in serving him. And then after 3-4 days, he went to a psychiatrist and asked him what, and then he said, he's having this problem. I will give him some medicine. Let me see, let me try. So medicine was also given. He was fed. They themselves used to feed him. And slowly, he was not having any dress. So they gave him these and all those things. And that is how now he is running a big organization where more than 300 people are there.
Who's running? Mohammed Rafi?
Mohammed Rafi. Every time when we go to Chennai, we used to visit his place. Blessed person. And last time when we went, very touching means there are about more than 100 ladies, girls. So he keeps them under lock and key. Because they are like children, Body is grown. They will not know whether they are dressed or not. And very risky, because they are ladies. So whenever anybody comes to see this, they will immediately telephone to him. He brings them here. Luckily now his daughter also has taken charge. So it's a noble thing. It's something which we have to see for ourselves. And he makes them to chant Ram Nam. When we go there, that will be the first job. Our team will go there, but Chennai team, and they will also do Ram Nam there. Anyway, that is the story. Now, look at this person. So he was not having any aversion toward that stool. Is it not? Because he has not been taught. So the positive and negative, if we look at it, this is how we understand. And when Papa said the creator and protector, when we were reading this, later on when we started discussing with the doctors, even now, trillions of cells are born and die every moment. So this construction and destruction are going on. When Papa said it is concomitant, then we were able to understand. Only when something dies, the other one will go. Something will die, the other one. So it is concomitant. So all these pairs of opposites, if you slowly realize, when somebody passes urine or vomits here, you will say, Aish. Suppose it happens to be your father or mother or the loved one or your child, if there is a child, then what is your attitude? When the love predominates, the label is not put. When the otherness comes, the label is put. So these are some of the ways by which we get the. Ultimately, everything is coming from him only. We only put the label. We only put the label because of our giving this, putting this label habit. A child, you must, I don't know whether you have observed, we have observed. Even if they pass urine, they will be playing. Immediately we will tell them they passed urine. We say he is blissful. Yeah, they are blissful. We say, then immediately we take out and hand it over to the mother.
They will not know truth.
So-called education, we have not taught them that this labeling is done by us. As I said, when you eat a sweet, after that early morning when you go to the toilet, the same sweet is coming in a different form. And we don't go near that. Whereas that laddu we were handling it in our own hand and tasting it bit by bit. No? Think what is happening. When the transformation took place, we have put a label. If we have not put a label, we will be taken to the mental hospital. Even at this age, he is behaving like So ultimately it is the label that we should know. And it comes in a form, it goes out in a different form. Not that we should eat our stool, no. But at the same time, how it came, Because there is a story, that's why we remember this. In good old days, in our childhood days, we used to go to the field only to eat ourselves, no latrine. So we have to be very careful in putting our when somewhere somebody has passed through hot. We are talking in Palghat. So the story says, he said, don't do that. Till yesterday, I was inspiring so many people in a shelf in the hotel. I was in the form of a laddu. People used to look at me. And finally, one of you got it. And I am in this state now. On a lighter vein, they used to share with us. So the idea is, everything, look at ourselves. God is giving us this body and various operations, and we can try to understand what is happening here. The sweat, the phlegm, the urine, the stool, these are the 4 items. It does not come from anybody else. It is the process, some process takes place inside. Who gives the process? The same lifestyle. Enzymes, so many things, as soon as we eat, it is converted into so many things. And what is needed for the body, what is needed for the bone, what is needed for the blood is taken. What is not needed after that process, it doesn't go in the gross form, it goes in the subtlest form. And the grossest thing comes out with the.
Swamiji, these are biological processes over which we don't have any conscious control. But Shraddha has conscious control about the content of what she says to me. So can we say that what she says is also divine, or that's how
Everything is divine. There cannot be any other place, When we try to go deeper and deeper into it, when we have a doubt, we go to the master's words. So Papa has written, even after so much of self-denial and so much of tapasya for more than 2 years, when he was able to get almost seemingly established in that everything is happening only by that power, suddenly he felt old thoughts are coming up, welling up. So he cried. And then I will read out his own word. Oh, it's already 40. Tomorrow we'll share that. Then he cried. Why again are these coming? So immediately, intuitively he heard, why are you separating me? Is there anything other than me? Then Papa says, don't try to destroy any thought. Condemn the thought. Put a label on the thought. Transform the thought. So the moment we bring in the God, why are you bringing all these things to my mind? It changes its face. Probably that was a test given to him. Immediately he was back to. Similarly, these questions are valid. These questions, this will make us to go more and more inward. And then we will know that we are the sense of individuality is responsible for putting the blame. Suppose we accept everything as they are and react as we are prompted from within. No problem. Not that you should take it and eat it. What you are prompted from it, you do it. But you will not put, that it is your own food. After having done its job, after having gone through the process, it has come through in another form, which is not palatable. You will not put any label. So anybody, and when somebody says something which is not okay for us, for no fault of us, somebody says something. Suppose we see it as an individual, this pairs of opposites will be there. But suppose we try to understand Papa's words, that it is also from him, there must be a purpose. Some fine-tuning is necessary, for which this particular experience is necessary for me.
Like a lesson that we need to learn.
Necessary. Because sadhana in daily life, sadhana, whatever we have understood, it becomes a part of me only when it is applied. Universal love means not only people who praise you or appreciate you. Universal love is such that you don't expect anything, even if they don't love you. Which is the highest state, which we cannot understand unless we reach. But there is a state. And we have seen people who have scaled the heights.
Even if they hate you.
They don't expect. Not that they should be in ochre clothes. We have met many people who are leading an ordinary life, having this the same thing, without expectation. Whatever they are prompted, they just do it, that's all. That's all. No prefix, no suffix. That gives us a feel it is possible, it is possible, it is possible. More of it tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.